The following is a presentation of LSPN, your home for Lenawee sports. LSPN and the Michigan High School Athletic Association proudly presents this 9th annual Wooden Bat Tournament. From Onsted High School, here are Dan Empson and Ty McLean.
And welcome to a beautiful but somewhat blustery day here at Onsted High School for the opening round of the 9th annual Wooden Bat Tournament. I am Dan Empson, and alongside me is a first-timer for us here, Ty something Irish.
Right?
Ty, I forgot your last name.
McLean.
Thank you. Ty McLean. There we
Yes,
go.
sir.
As you can tell, everybody's starting to get into things here. This is our first baseball game we got a chance to do here with LSPN. So, Ty McLean. Ty, you are a junior from Hudson, yes?
Yes, sir.
You got a little bit of background with baseball, so you'll be able to help us out today as we've got Napoleon and Onsted. And in the fun way that things have worked out today, normally the Wooden Bat Tournament held all at Adrian College, but because of Adrian College being in the MIAA tournament, hosting the tournament this year, they have got the championship game going on right now for the tournament over there. So we've got our first two games here at Onsted High School. And because of the flip of the coin, even though we're at Onsted High School, Napoleon will be the home team, and they will be leading off. What are some of the keys today, Ty, for Napoleon, from what we've been able to piece together from talking a little bit to the coaches, that you think is going to be important for the Pirates today?
I definitely think hitting the ball is going to be a big factor today. Wind is definitely going to be a factor for the right-handed batters today. I mean, if they get it out in the outfield, could probably go pretty far. I think base stealing is going to be another one. Pass balls are going to be a big thing. So I think if they can steal some bags, have some good pitching today, and their bats get hot early, I think Napoleon's got a good shot at going to the championship game.
All right, and it'll be a rarity for the Napoleon Pirates. They've only been to the championship game a few times since this tournament's been going. Of course, Addison, the one team that has had probably the least amount of success here, but that could all change this year. That's part of the fun. So Onsted will be coming up. And now time for people, including myself, that aren't too familiar with your career so far in baseball. What is your experience? What do you play? What's your position? What do you prefer when you're out there?
I normally play right field or first base. Normally, it's not as windy as this, so normally when we're playing right field, you're not getting a lot of balls hit out there. But and then,
and that'll be part of the interesting thing today is as we see Dallas Heidbreder come up to bat. He is the first player up for Onsted. Will that wind be a factor, and will those righties have a chance to pull the ball to the right side of the field? First pitch, in there for a ball outside.
I think if he really gets a hold of this one, this wind's going to take it out of the park.
And that will make things entertaining. There's no doubt about that. And one of the things that's going to be fun for these players, second pitch outside as well as the Pirates are looking to settle down. Brad Goostrey on the hill for Napoleon. He's the choice right now because they played a lot of players on Wednesday for their league game, and they wanted to make sure that they had the focus on that. Ball hit, ground ball over to shortstop. A little bit of a high throw, but easy enough play to make there. Williams got it over to Niemi for the first out of the ball game.
And I definitely think the grass infield is going to play a big factor on how fast the ball rolls to the infielders.
And that obviously makes things interesting. For all these players, these guys usually obviously use, as you know from your experience playing in this game, Ty, usually use an aluminum bat, whether it be a single wall, double wall, different rules in different leagues. But today it's the wooden bat, which has got to be a little bit different experience for these guys.
I definitely think it is because definitely weight has a lot to do with it. You know, the way you swing the bat, you don't have as a comfortable grip on the bat as you would an aluminum bat, and it definitely doesn't hit the ball as hard.
And for some of these players, they have maybe one or two aluminum bats that are their bats. You know, they use all the time in games, and today maybe this is something they haven't held as much.
And I think as the games go on today, they're going to get more used to the grip of the bat.
And Patrick Iott hops one to the shortstop, and Williams not able to make the play there as it took a hop right on the edge of that infield grass you were talking about, Ty.
So I definitely think, like I said, it's gonna play a big factor on how they play the ball because it's going to take a nasty hop. Definitely on the. Oh, there looks like they're bringing in a pinch runner.
All right, well, that makes things interesting. The courtesy runner for the pitcher. Apparently, we have gentlemanly angles that we take here. So Richard Davis III, who plays catcher, plays a little bit of outfield for the Wildcats. He'll be on first base, giving a little bit of a break to the pitcher so he doesn't have to run all over the base pass. They're very nice to people around here.
Yeah.
up for the Onsted Wildcats. Now another righty, all 3 right-handed hitters so far for the Wildcats, and that is Scott Lobestall, who's got one of the most interesting names you're going to find on a roster here between these two teams. He is the catcher, and I play a little bit of catcher. I know you can't tell from looking at me, but it is a demanding position, and at least at this age, you can still get down in that crouch without hurting too much.
Definitely. Having to dive for balls back there, having to get past balls, And it looked like, by the way they were practicing out here when they were fielding today, he's got an arm on him. So let's see how he does, when he gets on defense and you got kids stealing. And there, takes off. No throw.
And it wasn't quite a pass ball, but that's what you're talking about, Ty. That's one of the things when you're at this level at high school, kids and fundamentals are so important when it comes to figuring out what's going on, who's where, and what play you need to make to move your team forward, and what the defense is going to be able to give you. Hopper going to shortstop again. Williams able to hold the runner. He's actually going to take off over to third. And error at first base as Niemi couldn't hang on to the ball, so that'll put runners on the corners with only 1 out here in the first.
He did take a big round on third. You definitely gotta watch throwing the ball around, especially at this age. Looks like they're bringing a pinch runner in, Dan.
We're just letting everybody have a turn to go around here. Ethan Kosmina, who some of you might recognize that name from some of the games we did over the basketball season. Ethan was part of our broadcast team, so obviously he's a little more preoccupied this time of year. He's going to be coming in. He just got brought up to the varsity level for the Wildcats, so he's going to be out there on first base. And I can attest to one thing. Ethan's got some wheels, so that's one of the reasons why they've got him out there. Definitely he's already taken about a 3-step lead.
Right, definitely what they were talking about during pregame. And he squares up for a bunt.
Landon
no
Duke.
Throw. He's going to run him down.
Looks like he's safe at third base, and Onsted will not get hurt by that. Kosmina got over to second. So kind of trying to do that double steal. It's sort of like feeling out. The team was trying to figure out, hey, can we sneak a run home, because the fundamentals is the catcher going to pay attention to where he's throwing the ball. And the catcher stayed home. He did a great job of being in the right position. Rogers knew where to go with the ball that time.
Goostrey's definitely throwing, decent right now. So hopefully, he has some success today. Threw a heater right by him right there. That's a pretty pitch.
Landon Duke, the right fielder, up for Onsted. So far, most of the pitches have been that the guys who gotten a bat on have been up in the strike zone. That one's a little too far up in the strike zone. And Goostrey goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Duke. See if you can get him to chase a pitch here. Duke looking in for the pitch from Goostrey in the dirt. Nice trap there by Rogers to keep anything bad from happening for the Pirates, but now we go to 2-2.
Definitely, I think he looks like he's a good catcher that's going to block the plate. Not a lot of pass balls today, and I think that's going to play a big role in how everybody's scoring runs today.
Well, again, at this level, we're not talking professionals where pitchers and catchers. That's a pop-up. It's on the right side. It's going to be out of play.
Foul ball.
And that's one of the things about pitchers and catchers at this level versus at the pros, where they're working with the catcher all the time. They kind of know each other's nuances, how they call the game, how they want to play the game. These guys don't have as much time together, so catchers don't necessarily know the nuances of their pitchers and how they like to pitch and how they like to throw, and where they get a little wild maybe in the zone. It seems like so far Goostrey's been a little bit wild off to the wide side. That one's going to come through, and Onsted will score a run to start off the game. They got 1. Kosmina coming in safe into home. That's 2 runs for the Wildcats, and that will put Duke out there on second. So pass ball coming home on a bad section, really a wild throw coming home, and not much Rogers could do there. So all that craziness, the single turns into a double, and Onsted is up 2-0 to start out the Wooden Bat Classic.
And it definitely doesn't seem like wooden bats are actually being a factor right now, to be honest with you, Dan.
Well, at the moment it seems like the lack of discipline on the side of the Pirates has been part of the problem today. So far, we've seen 4 batters and only 1 has been retired. Goostrey, high in the zone for ball 1. Up to bat now for the Wildcats. Chase Wagner, the first baseman. Onsted sporting the kind of vest uniforms with a little bit of almost kind of a tie-dye-ish camo purple underneath there.
It's a nice digital camo they got going on. Foul ball.
One of the few times you can make purple look good,
Right.
Onsted and Blissfield do a good job with it, but there's a reason why there's not a whole lot of purple with the pros. Guys don't always look good in purple, but these guys do a nice job with it. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the first. Wooden Bat Classic, the 9th annual. Goostrey looks in, rears back. That one's up in the zone and up in the air, popped up in between everybody. But Rogers the second, there's a couple Rogers on this team for Napoleon, and Brett Rogers able to come in and make the play from left field.
That wind did play a factor there, Dan. Definitely blew it over a little bit, and he had to run up on it and make a good play on it instead of, just walking over there and kind of jogging.
It's always fun to watch that, the realization of I mean, you playing out in the outfield, they've had those moments where you're like, I got this. You're like, oh, dang it, no, I don't know. I got to catch up to it.
You drop it, and then your coach is chewing into you because you think you got that fly ball, and you practice it all week, and then you.
That was a bit of a trick pitch. Jake Jones was a little too enthusiastic. Maybe he see the hitting success that Onsted's had so far in the first inning, and he chased a Goostrey pitch way out of the strike zone. 0 balls, 1 strike. Make that 2 strikes on the foul ball, going back up over. So 0-2 with 2 outs as Napoleon tries to get out of the inning.
It doesn't seem like Goostrey's throwing bad today. It's just, Onsted's definitely.
That one's foul. Tell you what, Onsted is getting the bat on the ball there. And you can see why they have Jake Jones hitting where they do, 6th in the lineup, because he's got a little bit of pop there, but maybe not the most disciplined hitter.
Yeah, it just looks like, Goostrey's throwing outside. It's trick pitches, and he's looking to swing at it. Rock it out in the outfield and see what he can do with it.
The delivery way outside that time. Another nice move by Rogers to get in on the ball. And from talking a little bit to Coach Moore at the beginning of the game before things got started, he mentioned that Goostrey is a guy that really gets all the way around. He's a solid pitcher for them. He may not be their ace, but he's been pretty decent. A little bit wild, though, so far in the first. It's taken a little while to get these Onsted batters out. That's 2 balls, 2 strikes, as Jones has been able to battle back into an even count for him. Goostrey, delivery right over the middle, and Jones strikes out.
Pretty pitch right there.
And he got himself out of a little bit of a jam in the inning there, so could have done some more damage, but instead it'll be 2 runs, and it'll be the opportunity now for Napoleon to answer. We'll be right back with the Wooden Bat Classic on LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
As the voice of Michigan's student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played. We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stands should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers, helping student athletes develop
while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Out there, right?
And welcome back to the bottom of the first game of our Wooden Bat Classic. We've got the second half of this preliminary round before we get to the finals. And because of the interesting scheduling challenges of college baseball, that's why we're coming from the Wooden Bat from Onsted High School for the first 2 games, and we'll get to Adrian College after that. Onsted Wildcats got 2 runs in the top of the first, and now we'll start things off in the bottom of the first for the Napoleon Pirates. Josh Deutsch, second baseman, starting things off for Napoleon. And Onsted throwing Patrick Ayat, who is definitely, according to their coaching staff, their ace, their big player that does a lot for them.
He's 5-0 on the year. It looks like he's throwing a lot of power pitches right across the plate.
That's a foul or straight back, as it looked like Deutsch thought he could do something with that one, but the ball was up in the zone but didn't quite get the bat high enough. And that's one of the things that the coaching staff talked about was, hey, we got our ace out there. We want to try to get into the championship game, and then we'll figure it out from there. Who's going to pitch the second one?
Right.
Ripped a fastball right past him. And now we understand why Ayat is the pitcher that he is. A strikeout to start things off. And that's exactly what Napoleon wanted to start out. Sorry, not what Napoleon. Onsted wanted to start out with, probably the opposite of what Napoleon was looking for.
Exactly.
Coming up to bat now for the Pirates, Bob Williams. And Bob will take a strike on the first pitch.
That's just a beautiful pitch he's throwing right down the middle. He isn't afraid to gun it down there. He knows his defense is going to definitely back him up. Let his defense work.
Shortstop for the Pirates has taken 2 strikes. Now, that's an interesting philosophy that you always want to ask. So, Ty, what's your philosophy when you're hitting? Are you a take the first pitch kind of guy, or do you kind of see what you can do right away?
I'm definitely thinking, if I'm up there and I'm Napoleon right now, if that's a meatball right down the middle, I'm going to swing at it. But, some people prefer to take that first pitch, see what he's got on the first pitch, and then after that, then you can swing on it.
That's a bit of a spicy meatball. He fouls that one off to the right side of the field, out of play. 2 strikes, 1 ball coming so far from Ayat, as he has not been afraid to put the ball over the plate so far.
No, he's gunning it right in there. It doesn't look like he's throwing anything but a fastball so far.
That one's a little bit low and outside, though. It'll make it 2-2. And Williams is maybe hoping that Ayat's going to help him out and give him some pitches that are more in his favor. And in the meantime, because of that wind that you were talking about, Ty, we've got umbrellas flying out of the field.
A little bit of a weathered hazard, I guess I could call it right there.
Well, you want to try to hang on to it so you can block yourself from the sun, as we're trying to do, being blocked by the press box. But when you let go of an umbrella, they fly.
They really do. They get pretty high up in the air.
And that one was flying as Ayat just absolutely threw a high fastball right past Williams, who could not catch up. And you can't ask for a better start as a pitcher than 2 straight strikeouts.
Too bad we don't get to see this kid in hopefully the championship game. You never know.
I've yet to see a pitcher that wants to throw a doubleheader. Well,
Right.
I take it back. I've yet to see a pitcher that a coach allows to throw a doubleheader. I'm sure these guys would love to throw their arms out. But as we were talking, joking with the pitcher, the coaches ahead of time, baseball's throwing motion is slightly different from softball. A little bit harder on the body. Don't ask me how they came up with this as the right way to do things, but that's kind of where we're at. Pitcher Brad Goostrey up for Napoleon. And, of course, that's one of the things with high school baseball versus the pros is the pitchers usually can hit at this level. They haven't been switched around in their positions yet. 2 strikes, 1 ball, and Hyatt is trying to set the tone early for the Wildcats.
He is. Now, Dan, what's your opinion on pitchers batting in the major leagues?
Well, I know we had a little throwdown with that with Max Scherzer, who hurt his wrist on batting. Here's the thing. What are the rules? In the National League, the rules are the pitcher bats. In the American League, the rules are the pitcher doesn't have to bat. So I'm pretty sure, and we'll talk about Scherzer in a second, the pop fly kind of into that gap. Center fielder makes the play. Hunt camps underneath it. Onsted gets the 3rd out, and that is a little more textbook how you want things to work. So 2 strikeouts, and Onsted out of the inning without any problems. We'll get to the top of the 2nd. When we come back, you're watching the Wooden Back Tournament on LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
The first American people loved the land. They held it in simple reverence. And in some Americans today, that spirit is reborn. This is South Coast Botanic Garden in California. Once this was a dumping ground for trash and litter. Community volunteers cleaned, planted, and reclaimed it. And there the land is good again. But all around us are reminders of how far we still have to go. So everyone must get involved now. To contact the Keep America Beautiful team nearest you, write Keep America Beautiful, 99 Park Avenue, New York, New York. People start pollution. People can stop it.
And welcome back to the top of the 2nd. Napoleon down 2-0, and Onsted looking to add to that here at the Wooden Bat Classic. This, again, is the 9th year that we've had the Wooden Bat tie, so as long as you've been swinging a bat, pretty much, they've been playing this tournament.
Yes, sir, Dan.
Going back through where things have been over the course of the Wooden Bat, last year Onsted it was your championship winner, so they're trying to get back and hang on to that Wooden Bat in the carrying case that the teams get to take with them. They beat Columbia Central last year, who we'll see in the next game. And the Napoleon Pirates were in the championship game 2 years ago, so they're trying to get back and ruin Onsted's plans to hang on to that bat. And first pitch in the dirt from Goostrey. He's been a little bit wild to start off this game. He's had a few good pitches in there and has a few that kind of gone all over the place. And starting off the top of the 2nd rather for Onsted is their DH, who also plays a little bit of outfield for him, Isaac Henry. Henry gets a hold of that one, and it goes up out of bounds. I was talking to the coach earlier, Ty, that one of my issues when I played baseball, I could run, but the hitting thing was always a challenge for me. Like, it never really went between the lines, which is a bit of a problem for this game.
It definitely is. You know, your bottom hitters are normally your guys that aren't hitting the ball as well. But normally your 3, 4, 5-year guys that are really, you know, batting closer up to your 300s. You know.
And Henry took that last pitch for a curveball strike. Goostrey puts that one in the dirt. And that's ball 2, strike 2. And as this game wears on, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Ty, from your experience, when you see a pitcher that's struggling with his command a little bit, does that make you a little more patient as a batter? Do you just kind of sit back and make him have to throw something to you?
Normally I'm sitting back. You know, if he's not throwing strikes, I'm going to make him throw something to me. You know, so if he's not throwing strikes, I'm going to stand there. You know, if he throws me, you know, something decent, I'm going to swing at it. But if he's struggling out there, you know, hopefully I can get a walk, get on base, and, you know, hopefully steal a couple bags for my team and hopefully score a run and put us up, you know, a couple runs.
And Isaac Henry will have to wait for the next time up to do that as he chased a high pitch from Goostrey, and Goostrey gets himself a strikeout as well. Up to the plate now for the Wildcats, taking ball 1 outside is number 2, Josh Thierry. He's the second baseman, and you can tell something. I don't know if you noticed from looking around, like there's a height difference between some of the players. It seems like the interior infielders, which is where I played, aren't as tall.
And it seems like your outfielders are your bigger guys, your more experienced guys you're putting out there. I mean, for Napoleon, they've got one of their taller guys playing first base, and one of their taller guys also playing third base, where normally you play a lot of your bigger leaders, your better hitters.
Yeah, it's one of the things you're never going to see me play as first baseman. I did not have the range for that. 5'9" never really didn't get you too far.
No, normally you gotta have that long arm, be able to jump up and stretch for that ball.
Exactly. 2 balls and a strike from Deutsch right now, or Goostrey rather, as he settles in for Napoleon, trying to not have a repeat of the last inning where he gave up a couple runs, but that one's in the dirt, makes it a 3-1 count, and Thierry's looking at an opportunity to maybe get a walk, potentially the first walk of the game.
Now, when we were talking to the coaches earlier, he had said that Onsted has won 9 in a row. It seems like this team's pretty hot and playing pretty decent right now. Started off the season 1-3, and now they're 10-3, looking to, you know, advance the championship game today. So,
and sometimes it takes a couple games to get things warmed up and to figure out how you play best together. Because you can have anything as a coach coming into a season, and then all of a sudden things work or things don't work. But that worked out pretty well for Josh Thierry as he gets a walk, gets over to first base, and gives Onsted something to work on here with the 1 out. Garrett Hunt, center fielder, coming up to the plate, trying to figure out his signs from his coach, which that's a whole language in and of itself, by the way. Nothing cracks me up more than the 18 different movements that a coach will make that means one thing.
You never know what he's doing down there, Dan, and you know, you look down there, he's looking to lay down a bunt.
That meant bunt, and that meant a foul ball bunt. So one of the hardest things to do, in my opinion, in this game is lay down a proper bunt. How hard is it for you, Ty?
I mean, I'm a bigger guy, so I'm batting 3 or 4. You know, coach normally doesn't have me, but, you know, we have a couple guys on base, and I'm trying to advance them. You know, I'm trying to lay that bunt right down the third base line and just hope it dies right there, so that way I can possibly get on and hopefully my guys move up into scoring position at second and third base.
Let me put it this way. I batted 10th or 11th. For those of you that know baseball, there's only 9 positions. That's kind of where it was. That one's outside trying to steal second. It looks like they got him, and they did. Nice try out there by Thierry, but he just didn't get enough of a jump. Even though the throw was a little bit off, the tag was very athletic and acrobatic as one of the 2 Deutsch brothers got out there and made that play happen. Josh, he just sort of stretched his arm out there and managed to get the tag in.
That was a beautiful play. You normally don't see a lot of catchers that, you know, have that arm at this age to throw down to second base.
Hunt pops one up, and we'll just watch Mr. Deutsch make another play. So Josh has been responsible for 2 of the 3 outs to end this inning and keep Napoleon from having to add and runs on there. We'll come back with the bottom of the second. You're watching the Wooden Bat Tournament on LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Huntington. Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, where's that bear?
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back to a somewhat breezy but otherwise absolutely gorgeous day here at Onsted High School for the bottom of the second inning in this first game of the Wooden Bat Classic. Again, the 9th annual Wooden Bat, and Napoleon trying to find a way to create a little bit of offense right now. This guy looks a little more like your speed here, Ty. This is Nick Niemi, the first baseman, who had a couple of bad hops come his way in the first inning when Onsted scored a few runs, but he looks like a guy who can mash it.
Definitely looks like a guy that, you know, what I'd call some Basham dingers out in left field, you know, if he gets a hold of it.
Well, he got a hold of the first one, but that's a chopper to second base. Easy play. Good to see Niemi legging it out, but Thierry didn't have any problem making that play in the infield.
You know, normally bigger guys like myself or like him, you know, normally we got a harder time hustling down there. We got bigger legs. We try to stretch them out as much as possible, you know, but sometimes we just can't make it down there because we're not the fastest guys.
Well, you're not brought in for your base stealing necessarily. If you can, they always appreciate it, right?
Exactly.
Brett Rogers up to bat for the Pirates as we see a cloud actually come in over the sky. There might be some rain later on, but we're really, really hoping that doesn't happen because we're kind of not covered right now.
Exactly, kind of behind the press box here. You know, it's a gorgeous day for baseball. You couldn't ask for a better day. You know, got blue skies. It's probably about, I'd say about 79, 80 degrees out here, and we're just enjoying this beautiful day.
Brett Rogers, swing and a miss, and he goes down. Third strikeout on the day for Ayat, and he continues to be dealing up there. I mean, you talk about a guy with no fear right now. I mean, he's just throwing stuff by guys, being like, what are you going to do?
I mean, he's just pounding the strike zone, Dan, and he is just not afraid to let you know. He's just, I mean, that's his third strikeout, and he is just, I mean, there again, he's just pounding the strike zone, and, you know, guys aren't swinging. You know, I probably would have taken that first pitch also because it looked a little low. But
Austin Ash, third baseman for Napoleon, taking that first pitch. And he kind of gets a half swing at that second one and fouls it off almost like he was playing a little bit of defense there down in the strike zone.
Looks like he's playing a little bit of golf out there like Tiger Woods.
Tell you what, it's a good day for that as well, but we got to focus on this game. It's 0 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-0 in favor of the Wildcats, and Ayat's trying to get himself through his second 1-2-3 inning. That one's a little bit outside, though. Nice job of getting behind there by Labastall, the catcher.
They're definitely showing some fundamentals, you know, on defense. Onsted is, and they're, you know, pounding. He's pounding the strike zone. He's blocking the, you know, the bad pitches. It looks like they definitely have a sentimental bond out there, and they're doing what pitchers and catchers should be doing. And honestly,
Indeed.
you know, if I'm a pitcher, you know, which I did pitch a little bit when I did play, you have a certain catcher that you feel most comfortable with.
Right. Another one a little bit outside. 3-2 will be a full count to Austin Ash. He's hitting .382 on the season, so he's the type of patient hitter and the type of matchup that will make things interesting for a pitcher like Ayat, who's been dealing so far today. Stretches in there, and that one's popped up into right field. Backtracking, but making the easy play out there. Landon Duke gets Onsted out of the inning without any more damage. Still 2-0 in favor of the Wildcats. You are watching the Wooden Bat Tournament on LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah. Until you hear him say, you're clear or we're in break, don't say anything because it might come over.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
At high school, LSPN broadcasting the Wooden Bat Classic, the 9th annual Wooden Bat Tournament, and Onsted bent on getting themselves back to the championship game. Should be played later tonight, 8 o'clock at Adrian College, which is where we were hoping to be all day today. But the Bulldogs, basically the best team in the MIAA this season, so they're hosting the final right now, actually, over at Adrian College. So we didn't get a chance to go that way. Onsted instead, the away team at their own field. And, well, that's what the wind has done to you there. Exactly what you were talking about earlier, Ty. And a great hit from Dallas Heidbreder as he got the ball up in the air and got himself a double.
definitely starting to play more of a factor as it gets windier out here, Dan. I'm telling you what, if he would have got a little more oomph under that ball right there, that probably would have been out. You know, he got a nice double out of it. And
a great start to the third inning for the Wildcats. And now Patrick Ayatt's going to be trying to help his own cause, the pitcher. A little bit of a lead off from Heidbreder. Ayatt takes a fastball or curveball maybe right down the middle. Either way, it's a strike.
See, that looked like more of a changeup to me, Dan. I probably would have swung at that. That's definitely a pitch you should swing at, but you know, some of them feel comfortable.
Got that one up in the air and tracking it nicely. The left fielder, Brett Rogers, makes the play for Napoleon. Puts himself in a slightly better situation now. You obviously don't want a guy in scoring position with
no outs.
0 outs. That's just not a friendly spot. So the good news for Ayatt, he still has a pretty good opportunity to control this game from the hill. Up next for Onsted, the catcher, Scott Lobestall. Lobestall reached on an error in the first inning. He's going to look to add something to it this time, and he pops that one into center field. Looks like it's going to drop in between. No, great play made defensively out there by Deutsch, and he gets the ball in, but managing to tag and get over to third base still is Dallas Heidbreder. So pop fly sacrifice out there thanks to an amazing defensive play by the center fielder, Sam Deutsch. I guess that's why they got him out in the center field.
I guess so, Dan. I mean, you don't see a lot of plays like that from high school players. That was one of the, you know, gorgeous gems that you're going to see out here today. Hopefully we know what these great outfielders, and hopefully we see a couple more as the day goes on.
He ranged out there nicely, and as you saw right there was a little bit of gamesmanship from Napoleon. They wanted to make sure that that Heidbreder had tagged up after the ball had hit the mitt, because basically they just touched first base to make that known. Foul ball back over the net by Landon Duke, who got him out of the last inning. Almost hit where our van would have been, so I'm glad we moved that earlier.
I'm definitely, we don't need any of those foul balls popping up and, you know, making a dent in our.
Landon Duke had a double last time up. He's going to get a single, and that's going to score a run for the Onsted Wildcats. So Duke will get to first, and Heidbreder, courtesy of that double and then the sac fly last at bat, will bring another run across for Onsted. Makes it 3-0 in favor of the Wildcats. Chase Wagner up. Didn't do much his first time at bat, so we'll see if the first baseman can take care of things second time around.
Definitely waiting to see some power from these guys. I know that
a little bit of a jump there as they try to get him out over at first, but not too much trouble for Luke Duke getting back to base.
Onsted's really, scared of stealing bases. They're definitely taking bigger leadoffs.
And there he goes. Duke is down there. They're testing him again. In safe. That throw was to the wide side of the bag, and that was part of the problem there, as Rogers couldn't get it to the first base side. It was thrown to the third base side. Relatively easy steal there for Duke. Now, that's a good question for you as a base stealer, Ty. Are you a head first or a foot first slider?
I was definitely taught to slide, foot first. If I'm diving back to first base, I normally, you'd penguin dive just to keep your face safe, because normally you don't want to take that tag to the face. That's definitely a painful sight right there.
I wouldn't recommend it. Personal preference, though, I suppose. Second pitch is in there, and that one almost went off the foot. Looks like he'll be okay. Wagner, he's got himself a 2-1 count now, as he's looking to bring a runner home now that Onsted's got one in scoring position again. 2 outs, top of the third. Onsted on the guest on the scoreboard, thanks to the way the Boot and Bat tournament is played. That one's popped out foul down the left baseline, or the third baseline rather. And that one is definitely not getting out. Hit one of those pine trees that's kind of between all the fields here at Onsted High School.
Definitely looks like they got a wide array of, some beautiful tall pine trees out in the, more of the right center field. So Goostree's definitely pitching a good game. Just seems like some defensive errors have definitely led to some Onsted runs.
Yeah, he settled down a little bit after that first inning. He's got a little bit wild to start out the second, but he's a little more in a groove right now as that one's fouled back, right back to about where we are. Good thing we got a fence in our way. Chase Wagner still looking for that pitch. Goostree doesn't really want to give him one to hit. That one's low in the zone. That'll get us to a full count. Wagner steps out of the box and looks over. Does the clap mean just go for it? I mean, we're still trying to interpret the other language coming from the pitching staff, the coaching staff.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Dan, if he's clapping, he's letting you know if that pitch is there, you go ahead and swing at it. If it's not, take your bag.
It's nice to have a coach that gives you a little bit of faith in the players. Wagner manages to get himself a walk. And just as we're talking about that command that was shown by Goostrey, he goes ahead and lets a guy get on first. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Onsted's up 3-0. And Jake Jones up to bat. He's a third baseman in the mold, as you'd expect. He's kind of that stocky, sort of chunky sort of guy that you wouldn't want to hang one up there on him.
No, definitely don't want to throw a meatball right past this guy. You know, looks like he could clobber the ball.
Jones kind of a little bit of that open stance, front foot in front of the out one, and that allows him to drive one into center field, but camping up underneath it is Tim Deutsch, who's been doing a great job out there for the Pirates. So Onsted threatens. Onsted gets one in, but that'll be it for the top of the third. You're watching the Wooden Bat Classic on LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
The third, and the Wildcats feeling pretty good as the away team at their home field, Ty.
You know, just depends on that coin toss. You know, I definitely, as I coach, and I've played, you definitely prefer to be that home team just in case, you need to get that final at bat in.
Well, and again, one of the nice things for Onsted is obviously the familiarity with how things are played here. They know what the wind's like. They know how to work this place. And Patrick Ayat just knows how to deal as he throws that one right past Tim Deutsch, who was trying to set up a bunt there, maybe try to use his speed to get something started for Napoleon, but Ayat was having nothing of that. Second pitch. Instead, Deutsch just hit a chopper to second base. Another easy play made there by Thierry. That's the second time we've seen a chopper come to him, and he just takes him like he's meant to do that.
I mean, second base is, one of the, easier but harder positions to play. You're definitely that kind of there. You got to cover, a lot of that area in the middle and center field before it gets out to the outfield. Got to be a cutoff out there for your outfield. And
that one's hit just foul, despite the helpful guidance of the Napoleon head coach as Moore was trying to encourage the umpire to call that one fair. But that'll be a first strike on Jeff Ash, his first chance to step up to the plate, the right fielder. That one's wide outside. 1-1 the count. You gotta love the fluorescent gloves he's sporting right now, too.
Definitely do. Those are some bright green gloves, Dan.
Whatever makes you feel better as a player, right? As he pops that one to his position. And the right fielder, no problem for Onsted as Duke makes the catch there. We've seen him make a couple good plays in those pop flies.
Now, Dan, I really don't think as we keep going on, it looks like these wooden bats are working out just fine for these players, and it looks like they're comfortable with them.
I'll tell you what, you see where some of the balls have gone so far. We would have had a couple close to your favorite word in the English language. We almost had a couple dingers.
Honestly, man, if they were at my field, we probably had probably more than 3 or 4 dingers right out of the field.
Well, those aluminum bats, of course, make the ball carry a little bit further, hit a little bit harder. That's one of the reasons why you see wooden bats at the pro levels. That one's a bit inside as Ayat's letting Brendan Rogers know, hey, buddy, we're playing baseball here.
He's just up there dealing right now.
Big swing and a big miss. As Rogers, as a hitter, what's going through your head when you know you've got this and then all of a sudden you miss?
You really just almost disappointed in yourself, man. You see that fastball coming down the middle, and you're like, man, I'm going to swing at this, and hopefully I drill one right out in the, right center field. And then you just swing right by it, and you're like, man, I hope I get another one like that because I'm not going to, miss the chance to get it this time.
Well, Rogers is a very animated hitter. You can tell, every pitch that happens, he's reacting to it one way or the other, good or bad, and he's got himself to a 3-1 count. So Rogers, you got to think if it's going to be close, he's going to be swinging at this one. Ayat stretches, delivers, and Rogers turns on it. But a relatively easy play made out there by Hunt as well. As these outfielders for both of these teams have been doing a great job of tracking the ball so far. And that gets us through the third inning. Onsted still up 3-0. You're watching the Wooden Bat Classic on LSPN, your home for Lenawee sports.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
And welcome back to the top of the fourth inning, as we're getting to that point in the game for the Onsted Wildcats, as everyone's been through the lineup at least once, and it'll give the Napoleon Pirates a chance to see if they can correct things a little bit. Listening to a little bit of fun in the background. Of course, this group won a Grammy, and I was just telling Ty, the keyboardist for this group was in the same roomed in the same hall as I did at CMU back when he was going to school there. So it's good to see that band have a little bit of success, at least to the point that we're going to play it before in the break of an inning for an Onsted baseball game.
Designated hitter, Isaac Henry.
Up now for the Wildcats, Isaac Henry, the DH. Again, he plays a little bit in the outfield. It's one of the nice things with the way that the high school baseball is constructed is you can have a DH.
Right.
But you can also have a pitcher still hit within that DH. It's an interesting one of those quirky rules that you have at high school that maybe don't have at a different level.
I see. That's what I like about pro baseball, definitely in the American League, as we were talking about. Yeah, you can have that DH.
And that one is why we watch a foul ball. Almost a nice catch out there by some of our fans. That was about 5 feet away from us, so we appreciate them taking the damage for us. But that's a foul and that's a strike to start things off for Onsted. It's one of those things like it's just bright enough now to where we don't see where the ball is going, and we aren't quite sure what happens there. But crisis averted for us, and it looks like our fan is okay as well over there on the side for us. So that's 2 pitches, that's 2 foul balls, and that's 2 to the right side. It seems like Josh Thierry might be pulling the ball a little bit. Sorry, not Josh. It's Isaac Henry might be pulling the ball a little bit.
Now, it looks like, man, if he can get a hold of it, he might be able to blast it right out to left field and pull it, as he has a right-handed hitter. And the wind is definitely playing a big factor, like we had said before.
Either that or you're going to be playing some defense for us here, bud. We'll see what happens. And we are right up against the fence, so we should be fine. We're just hoping that nobody else gets hurt out there. That's one of the things with baseball. There's always a chance that foul ball is going to be coming somewhere it's not supposed to. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Isaac Henry, who struck out his last time up, trying to make up for that. Brad Gooster would love the same thing again. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Henry looking in there. Rips one between short and third base. And that'll be a nice single for him to start out. It's always fun rounding. You round the base. How often do you really think on a hit like that, Ty, that you're going to round the base and even think about going to second? Or is it just to mess with the guys in the outfield?
I think it's definitely to mess with the pitcher, mess with the guys in the outfield. You know, sometimes you might actually go and they might make an error on the throw. But normally you just round the bag, you know, let them know, hey, I'm coming around, you know, just be careful. But normally your coaches have you run down if it's base hit, have you throw. And he steals a bag.
And there's the throw.
There's an error.
And Thierry was ready to lay down the bunt as they had the little hit bunt run going on there. And instead, Isaac Henry gets bailed out from a high throw from Brennan Rogers. Rogers, we've seen him, again, it seems like Napoleon has a lot of talent on their team, but there's not a whole lot of consistency with that talent.
Right. Well, it just seems like sometimes, you know, they'll make a good play on one end, but then they'll throw the ball around the next. So, I mean, you got to help Gooster out a little bit. You know, he's pitching well. So hopefully his defense can keep doing what they've been doing, making good plays, and, you know, not throw the ball around and keep the deficit where it's at as of right now.
And Gooster gets helped out by a foul ball there, as Thierry, who's made a couple great defensive plays, is still looking for his open to start this game and try to bring another run around for Onsted. Isaac Henry out there on second, courtesy of that stolen base on the it's still credited as a stolen base, even though it was a high throw there. Pop up, foul on the right field side, as Thierry's been pulling stuff around there as well. Both, it seems like these Onsted kids got a lot of pop in their bats.
They really do, and you know, like we said, I don't think the wooden bats affect them a lot, but you know, I think they're getting real comfortable. I feel like some of them actually used them before, because it doesn't seem like they're having any problems out there right now.
And they are shifting a little bit over. You see where the shortstop's playing. He's almost exactly halfway between second and third, and it seems like they're expecting the ball to go that way. Instead, it goes back the other way. Nice play made by the second baseman, and Deutsch gets the ball over to Niemi. Now, the good news is he managed to move, one batter managed to move the runner 2 bases thanks to the wild throw for the stolen base, and then put that ball exactly where he needed to get the runner over to third base. So sometimes you just have to manufacture those runs, Ty.
Sometimes you just gotta, gotta put the ball in play. You might not always get on, but if you're putting the ball in play, getting guys in it shouldn't matter. It looks like third base coach is laying down some signs. Let's see what he's giving him and see if he's giving him a chance to bunt or what he's doing up there right now.
Center fielder Garrett Hunt looking for the first pitch. He's going to let that one go. Thought it was outside, but instead it's going to catch the outside corner. That's strike one with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. And that's one of the things, too, as a hitter, you got to get used to the umpire in their strike zone because every umpire's got a little bit of a different way of looking at the ball. Trying that suicide squeeze and enough speed coming home. They got him at first, but they got the run across as well since there was only 1 out. Nice running by Isaac Henry and a nice bunt laid down there by Garrett Hunt. Just everything worked to perfection, and that's the kind of play you're happy to see as a manager.
Definitely, you definitely have your faster guys laying down those bunts, and I mean, he just laid that just about as perfect as you're going to get it.
So sacrifices on the last 2 plays to get a run across. It's now 4-0 in favor of the Wildcats, and we're back around at the top with Dallas Heidbreder, who had a double his last time up. That one's high. That'll be a ball. 2 outs here in the 4th. Heidbreder trying to keep things going for the Wildcats.
Definitely looks like he's comfortable up there. He's...
Oh, the way he's swinging, it certainly does. He gets it between that hole in third and short, and you can tell from the way things have worked out so far that Austin Ash is not exactly a rangy player out there at third base, and they tried to get Heidbreder in a bit of a rundown. Instead, another wild throw. Heidbreder managing to get back to first, but he kind of ran into a bit of a brick wall in the name of Nick Niemi as he was trying to dive back in there.
Now, see, he just did what we were talking about, taking that big lead around first and almost took off to go to second and, causing almost like an error of a throw. So
looks like he's feeling all right, but again, he dove back to first and instead dove right into a tree trunk.
Definitely looked like man, his head smashed right into that big old tree trunk of Niemi on first base.
Put it this way, we were standing over on that side talking to Napoleon's coach before the game, and I saw Niemi coming in there and like, this kid's in high school? He looks like he could be playing college ball. Maybe next year he will be, but he's a big boy over there on first base for the Pirates.
Definitely a big differential from size that you can tell from Onsted and Napoleon. Like Goostrey's a lot smaller than a lot of his players out there, but then you got guys like Niemi who's playing first base, who's probably 6-7 inches taller than he is.
I think if you did a face-off between the 2 pitchers, it'd be a face-to-chest-off pretty much. I mean,
definitely.
You can tell there's a bit of a size difference between Ayat and Goostrey. But again, when you're a pitcher, I mean, you look at some of the greatest pitchers who've ever lived. Greg Maddux wasn't exactly a big guy.
Right.
He just knew where to put the ball.
And then you got guys who are as tall as like Doug Fister for the Red Sox. He's like 6'5", 6'6".
Oh, ridiculous, at least. And you had the mound on there. The guys are almost. I mean, Randy Johnson was 6'10". Just for fun, let's go and have a 7-footer out there because basketball didn't work out for him. I guess I don't know.
Right.
2 outs for the Wildcats as pitcher Patrick Ayat's trying to keep things going for Napoleon. Another stolen base attempt. Dallas Heidbreder's got some speed. We saw that on the basketball court earlier this year that he can move, and he shows it. Man, it's easy to go in a straight line. We don't have to worry about anybody getting in your way.
Exactly, and it looks like they're definitely taking advantage of stealing bags. They're just being so aggressive today with stealing the bases.
And we've seen Heidbreder not afraid even when he almost got thrown out going back to first there on the hit. He's taken off to third. He's already gone, and they're just nope. He held off. He was halfway there and decided not to, and I guess he decided not to test the arm of Brendan Rodgers going to third. It's so much easier to steal second, isn't it, Ty?
It's so much easier because the catcher it's a longer throw, and then 2, like you can get a pretty decent lead off as Goostrey throws back to second base.
And that's the fun part about taking off from second is you got to get either your it's interesting from a defensive standpoint too because you got to bring either your shortstop or your second base over to cover the bag, and so it's all the little gamesmanship that goes on with baseball. And it also starts getting into the pitcher's head as he's got to look over his shoulder like, okay, what's this guy going to do? So now I got to try to figure out where I'm going with it. So now my pitch just got thrown a little bit outside. 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs.
And when you're doing that, you got to make sure you don't balk and advance the runner, because sometimes you could be mid-pitch and he's stealing and you want to turn back and throw at him, and you might balk and he might advance, and you're thinking, oh man, I should have just thrown that pitch and I would have been fine.
Ayat fouls that one into the dirt, so he's still got a chance. Full count, 3-2. And, of course, a balk, for those who aren't familiar with it, is when the pitcher steps off the rubber in the middle of a pitching motion and doesn't complete his pitching motion throwing towards the plate, which gives the base runner the free bag. And a free bag given right there to the pitcher. Ayat's got to be happy about that. I think when a pitcher gets walked, it's got to be one of the happiest moments of their life.
It really does. You know, as a pitcher, definitely like in the pros, like especially when you have crossover games like in the American League and National League, your pitchers aren't used to batting in the American League, so you'll take a walk.
And that was the fun back and forth that happened with Max Scherzer. We started talking about that in the first inning, but Scherzer complaining about how, oh man, I shouldn't have to hit as a pitcher. You know, people would rather see Big Papi. I was like, and then I don't remember which pitcher it was, but someone came back and commented, how much money did he just sign for? I'm pretty sure he knew what the rules were before he jumped in there.
Right.
So for $200 million, I'm sure Max Scherzer will find a way to stand in there and take a few pitches.
And normally what you see with pitchers is they have a lot of their pitchers bunt because, they're not used to hitting, so they're going to try to lay down a bunt and, advance their runner if there's a runner on.
I think it might have been Madison Baumgartner made that comment. Well, in the meantime, the catcher, Lobestal, got a hold of that one, but unfortunately hit it straight at Deutsch out there in center field. And Napoleon will stop the bleeding with only 1 run. 4-0, though, as Onsted continues to lead the Wooden Bat. We'll be back with the Wooden Bat Classic on LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
You know what I think? I think you forgot to lock your door. A lot of people do that. They forget. It's too bad because all crime needs is a chance. Don't give it the chance. It's my job to teach you to protect yourselves. Make it your job to learn. Write to Box 6600, Rockville, Maryland. Oh, and one more thing. Lock your door and take a bite out of crime.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
We're proud to say that LSPN is a sports programming network proudly shown on LISD TV. LSPN is overseen by our instructors and operated by students with the Lenawee Intermediate School District. LSPN offers live sports broadcast experience to students. If you'd like to join the team, please email us at lisdtv@lisdus.
Thank you very much, Ty, and we appreciate you coming out again, getting your first chance to take part in a baseball game with us, thanks to some of the connections we've got with some of the other students that have worked with us on the broadcast. So we're looking forward to having you around and teaching the ropes behind the camera as well, so you can add some expertise there too.
Definitely glad I came out, Dan. This is something I've been loving to do. My parents had talked to me about it. Hey, you love sports so much, why don't you go try this,
Well, I tell you what, your career in this can last a little bit longer than your career playing out there. At least I know it was for me, because I think I stopped playing baseball around about Little League. That was the extent of my ability.
So, yeah, it's definitely a fun thing, especially with injuries, injury plagues. You see a lot of pitchers, having to get Tommy John surgery. And like in Justin Verlander's case right now with his triceps, he just got cleared to start throwing again. So.
And that's a happy moment for Tigers fans. And Napoleon fans still looking for that happy moment. That one's fouled way back over top of our press box as Josh Deutsch is trying to get things going for the Pirates. They have pretty much put themselves in a situation where, well, let's put it this way. We're in the 4th inning, and this is his 2nd time batting. So that gives you an idea what they're working with right now. Foul that one straight back. So it looks like Deutsch just getting a little underneath both of those balls.
Definitely. I think looks like he's a little late on the ball, but hopefully if he gets a hold of it, he might be able to put it out in the outfield and get a base hit and get a guy on for Napoleon.
Well, Ayat doesn't really appreciate that sentiment. I'm pretty sure he's trying to blow it past him here. 1 ball rather, and 2 strikes now, as Ayat got that one a little bit too far inside. And that was my specialty when I was a player, was getting hit by the ball.
That's definitely not the pleasantest feeling, but as my coach has told me, put a little dirt in it and walk down to the first base because you just got a free bag.
Well, got a free K right there as the tipped ball went right back into the catcher's mitts. And Ayat will get himself another strikeout as Deutsch picks up his 2nd strikeout on the day as well. Bob Williams up now. He struck out the first time as Ayat started off the game with 2 straight strikeouts. A looping pitch over top, and that one gets into the strike zone. As Williams probably didn't agree with that one, but started up high and came down low.
It's just gunning him in there today, Dan. I mean, I can understand the reason he's 5-0. He's really a heck of a pitcher that you'd like to see on the mound, definitely on your team. But sadly for Napoleon, they're seeing him on the other side.
And that was, again, the strategy coming in. Bob Williams hitting .375 in the season, but that strikeout to start off the game, we'll see what he can do from here for that. Ayat deals in there, and that one is low and outside. And a nice job of hanging on to the ball there by Lobostal.
And even their best hitter, Josh Deutsch, is batting .467. Even he's struggling with Ayat on the mound right now.
Well, and that's the thing. You come up against a good pitcher, and that makes a big difference in this game. More so than any other game, really, the way it's played. One player can change your game when it's the pitcher that's on the hill that's dealing for a day. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Napoleon's still looking for something to happen, and instead Bob Williams will look at a seat on the bench.
Ayat is just wheeling and dealing right now. I mean, that's another punch out for him, and he's just in his zone right now.
He's got at least 5 that we know of. Of course, we don't have a statistician, so we're trying to keep track of our own right now. But we know he's got at least 5 strikeouts so far today, and Ayat not shy about where he's putting the ball. That one's wrapped down third baseline, and diving attempt by Jones, but he couldn't quite get there. So that'll be the first hit of the day, I believe, for the Napoleon Pirates.
And it's off their pitcher, Gustray, who's batting .348 on the season.
Hitting pretty well, helping himself out right there. And now maybe with the third hitter on base, maybe your cleanup guy, the big man, Nick Niemi, who we were describing as something of a tree trunk earlier. At least on first base he is. That kid looks like a baseball player.
Definitely looks like he could be even playing college ball. He's got himself looks like a beard out there.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe a little bit of dusting. We'll see. We might have a little bit kick up there with the wind today. We'll see, Niemi. He lets that first ball go past him, and that one is going to allow Gustray to get to second base as Lobostal couldn't quite handle that high pitch. So that's 1 ball, 2 outs, though, for the Pirates. But Niemi now makes things a little more interesting because the hit might bring a run around for Napoleon. Niemi with that open stance, put most of his weight on his back leg.
Definitely a good thing, put a lot of power in your back leg so that way you can get a better swing.
Looked like that one might have been a strike, but it was just a tad bit high. That's 2 balls and no strikes on the first baseman.
Definitely looks like he's doing a little bit of Victor Martinez with his bat out there, swinging it around.
And again, every player's got their own style. I'm sure you've got your own. We'll talk about that a little more when we get another, probably next inning, see what Ty's preferred batting stance is. And we don't have quite 3D graphics or anything to break it down, but Niemi's changed his batting stance to try to maybe bunt here to start things off on the 3-0 pitch. Instead, he's going to take it inside for a ball, and Ayat's allowed 2 batters on now in the 4th inning. Coming up now for the Pirates, that'll be their outfielder, Brett Rogers. He's left field. Hasn't had a whole lot to do in left field because almost everything that's gone to left field has gone foul. He's had 1 or 2 plays he's had to make, but the righty looking for an opportunity to make some plays for Napoleon. Ayat fires one in there, and that's a first pitch strike.
It's definitely Napoleon's best chance to score some runs all day so far, Dan. So hopefully we can see Rogers, maybe put bat on the ball and score some runs here, make this game pretty interesting.
Second pitch, that one's inside. He's been pitching a little more inside so far this inning, and it's interesting to see, again, we talk about the stances. Rogers has that closed stance, so his front foot more in front of his foot than the back foot, and again, we'll break that down a little more next inning as Niemi on first base with that open stance. That one's in there for a strike, and it looks like so far we've been able to see, maybe you can agree or disagree with me on this, Ty, but it seems like the strike zone is a little bit short and fat today.
It definitely seems like that. I mean, as the bigger kids come up, it widens. Everybody has a different batting way in how their strike zone is. Like, for example, if you're a smaller kid, your strike zone is going to be, who knows how it's going to be. When it's a bigger kid, it's bigger. So you never know. As an ump, you got to adjust your strike zone to how big the kid is.
That was my only advantage, by the way, when I played, was I was tiny. So I had no strike zone. It was very helpful. There's the strike zone on that pitch, though, as Ayat gets at least his 6th today, and he is dealing out there. And I tell you what, who can't believe that, though, is Brett Rogers. But we do believe it. We believe in Ayat the way he's been pitching so far today. 4-0. Napoleon threatens, but can't come up with anything as we go to the next inning. You're watching the Wooden Bat Tournament on LSPN. Your home for Lenawee Sports.
Today, 1 out of
Almost
every
had a
4
ball
American
game
kids is Hispanic.
That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids.
We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you're not alone.
And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education.
HSF.net.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to the start of the 5th inning. Onsted, again, we're at Onsted High School, and Onsted the away team because of the coin flip for the Wooden Bat. And so they'll have the interesting challenge of being the road team at home, and I'm sure it's a little weird for them to be batting first in the inning. But in the 5th so far, the cleanup hitter, Landon Duke, coming up to bat. Double his first time up. Goostrey still on the hill for the Pirates. He stretches and delivers a little bit low. So, Ty, we talk about batting stances a little bit last inning. What is your preference? Because we see kind of an even one here from Duke.
I'm definitely a guy that I kind of spread my legs out a little bit, get comfortable, and kind of bend my elbow a little bit and kind of lean, kind of dip my back foot a little bit, kind of like twist my back right foot, and then I just kind of, let a power swing, and hopefully I get a hold of that ball and take it out to left field. But, normally kind of just stand there. I don't move my bat very much compared to a lot of guys.
Well, this guy just moved his bat. Duke got a hold of that one, but again, straight to center field. So he took that 2-0 pitch and didn't do a whole lot with it. Hunt settled underneath that one, Deutsch settled underneath that one easily for Napoleon. At what point did you figure out, I'm better off as a power hitter?
Definitely when I started to grow up a little bit. I got bigger and taller than a lot of the other kids. My coach moved me to about 3 or 4, but I used to be a smaller kid. I was probably, 30, 40 pounds, and I was batting, 3 or 2 or 1 and used my speed. But as I got bigger, I was kind of slower, so they put me in that power position.
Well, Chase Wagner trying to hit from that 5 spot and didn't show quite the right combination of power or speed there as he got thrown out at first. Couldn't quite get that ball through the infield. And Napoleon trying to get themselves into a 1-2-3 inning here. Jake Jones up to bat as the third baseman in your mold. Like I said, kind of the beefier guy up there. We mean that as a compliment, obviously.
Now, see, like normally if you're a beefier guy, for example, you got Miguel Cabrera who bats third for the Tigers. He's definitely a slower guy. You normally have your bigger guys bat there.
Got a hold of that one. Looking like it might ride down the baseline, and that one's going to be fair. And Jones stretching out for second base. You saw him kind of like rounding first, kind of still not knowing if it was a hit or not. And he legged it out to get that double.
Definitely almost what we'd like to call a dinger. It almost got out, but, must not have been enough to carry.
Well, and that's one of those things interesting based off of players and their abilities. I mean, Jones may be not the fastest guy, so he's thinking, okay, cool, I'll do 2 here, whereas Dallas Heidbritter, if he would have got a hold of that, might have been thinking 3 all the way because he knows he can get around there. Up now for the Wildcats, Isaac Henry. He got a hold of that one, put it straight up in the air. Unfortunately, not nearly far enough, and that will end the inning for Napoleon. Still 4-0. Still the Onsted Wildcats in front. And the Wooden Bat Tournament, you're watching LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw?
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 5th inning. Onsted in front 4-0. largely due in part to the man on the hill for the Wildcats. Patrick Ayat is 5-0 on the season, and we're seeing why, Ty. He has been dealing a great game so far from the hill.
You know, I've seen some beautiful pitches. No, he's just pounding that strike zone, and you know, nothing against Napoleon, but it just seems like he's just throwing them right by him. With they're not looking like they have much bat speed as of right now. Let's see what they can do in this inning, make this game interesting, and see how the rest of the game goes for Ayat and the Wildcats.
And Austin Ash going to attempt to turn that around, but not with that first swing as he gets blown by on that first pitch from Ayat. Now, everybody's seen everybody once through here. So as a hitter, you've seen a guy, you see he's throwing power pitches, you see he's basically just trying to blow you by. What's going through your head second time around?
Well, definitely if he's throwing, faster, step back in that box.
And Ash trying to drive a ball and instead just hits a chopper. Managing to hang on to the bag there with Wagner. Hybrider got it over there from the shortstop spot. 1 down for the Pirates. You were saying, Ty.
Definitely, if he's throwing heat, you're stepping back in the box so you can swing a little bit earlier, get ahead on the ball. If he's throwing slower and you're late, step up a little bit in that box. That way you can get a hold of it.
Tim Deutsch up, swings at the first pitch. Kind of a weak, almost like he thought halfway through he didn't want to keep swinging. So he'll take the first strike there. Deutsch, one of the 2 sets of relatives. I'm not sure if it's brothers or cousins or whatever, but there's 2 Rogers and there's 2 Deutsches that are in the starting lineup for the Pirates. Unfortunately, none of them have been able to do a whole lot so far today at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. As Ayat's trying to throw himself a shutout. That one's popped up over our heads.
Definitely seeing why he's their ace. He's definitely one of the probably more dominant hitters in the pitchers in the LCAA. From what we've seen. So I mean, I would if I could have saved him till the second game, if they were to make it the second game, I would have. But you know what? He's throwing a gem right now, and he's in his zone.
Well, and again, as a coaching staff, you're probably sitting back thinking, you know what? Let's just get to the championship game, then we'll figure it out from there.
Right.
And it's a great treat for these guys to be able to play in an event like that. That ball is driven to center field, but another great play made out there by Mr. Hunt. And Garrett has just been everywhere in center field so far for Onsted. Both center fielders for both teams have done a great job of being in place for their teams.
All right, definitely, they're hitting them a lot of the outfield. You're not seeing a lot of grounders to left field. It's looking like, they're a lot of pulling them to center. And the outfielders are just playing great games.
And you can probably hear that wind coming through our microphones right now. And that one drops in between about 3 different Onsted Wildcats as they maybe lost it in the sun or the wind or whatever. But that'll be Jeff Ash, the right fielder, picking up his first hit of the game. And the Pirates once again trying to put something together with 2 outs. Brings us back to the top of the order. Or excuse me, the bottom of the order. Brendan Rogers, the catcher, will wrap things up. He's been hitting about .333 in the season coming into this game. But obviously the 2 at-bats so far are going to drop that number down a little bit.
Definitely, you're batting up in your higher 300s. That's pretty good. You'd like to see your 3 or 4 or 5 hitters that are batting, closer to 4. But definitely, he looks like a pretty decent hitter, and hopefully, he can get a hold of this ball and make this game more interesting. As you got a guy at first base, and he's taking a pretty big lead off as of right now.
Inside of the first pitch, outside on the second one, as Rogers casually ducked the first pitch. It wasn't any type of retaliation. It wasn't a shot at him. It just kind of got away from Ayat just a little bit. But 2 balls and no strikes to start things off against the catcher. Rogers puts a lot of that weight in his back leg as well as he tries to swing through. He put everything he had into that swing and missed everything.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, as a hitter, you go up there and you're going to put a lot of weight on your back foot, to push and then step forward with your forward foot and hope you can drive the ball, But as Ayat's just throwing, pretty well.
We'll tell you what, sometimes you just need to hit the ball in the right spot. It wasn't a hard hit, but it was enough as Rogers wrapped one right up the middle just to the left side of the second base, literally the bag, and put himself in a position now with 2 runners on, as each at the top of the order. And Deutsch, who hits .462 on the season, he's got an opportunity now to give the Pirates a couple runs.
They definitely got something going, Dan, and hopefully, Deutsch, as you say, he's batting .467. Maybe he can get something going for the Pirates.
Well, this is where you expect a pitcher like Ayat just to knock it down and strike him out, but that's not going to happen. Deutsch puts it in the air, and Hunt settles underneath it to once again end any threat of a Pirate run. We're through 5 so far here in the Wooden Bat first round. You're watching LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to start off the 6th inning. Chance is starting to run out for Napoleon. They'll still have 2 more opportunities to get back in this game. And Onsted with a couple more chances to lengthen their lead and get to that championship game with a Wooden Bat Tournament, the 9th annual Wooden Bat Classic. And they were nice enough to give us a program so we get to see all the teams that the mandatory no-smile photos. Are you guys allowed to smile in your photos, Ty, with the team?
You know, Coach normally told us, hey, you can smile if you want to, but if you want to have that serious look, go ahead. That's normally how it is with, even football, baseball, basketball team pictures. You don't see much smiles because your coach doesn't want you goofing around. He wants to take that serious picture.
But here's the thing, Ty, is like, do you smile in the pictures? Because you strike me as someone who likes to goof around a little bit.
I do smile in the pictures. I normally don't take it that serious because, I'm out there to have fun and enjoy my teammates, and do what we do and have a great time.
I'll tell you what, that'll be a lot of fun for the kids that win this. They'll definitely be smiling at the end of this Wooden Bat Tournament. Popped up on the first pitch of the 5th inning, and a nice play running in there for Williams as the first Onsted batter of this 6th inning is retired, and Josh Thierry couldn't make it happen. But again, Thierry doing great work on defense, so you can accept some hitters that aren't quite as good hitters necessarily if they play great defense, and that's one of the things with Thierry. At least today so far, his defense has definitely made up for a little bit of lack at the plate. Drive coming right there from Garrett Hunt. He got that one all the way out, and that is Ty.
That is a dinger, Dan. He just blasted that one right over the left field fence.
And Ty's been waiting all day to say that, and all the Onsted players waiting for that opportunity to walk up and congratulate their boy. And the center fielder, Garrett Hunt, has been doing everything today for the Wildcats, including knocking a home run to start off the 6th inning.
Man, he just put that, he just stuffed his turkey right there and just blasted it right into left field. That was he threw it right down the middle for him, just a meatball.
Great job of turning on that pitch by Hunt, and you can tell that even though they're a away team, that it's all Onsted fans here right now for the Wildcats. That puts them up 5-0 now. 1 out here in the 6th as Onsted tries to put away the Pirates. Back to the top of the order, Dallas Highbury takes the first pitch for a ball, and that's great. You see the guy that's hitting 9th in your order just knocked a home run. That's a good sign for your team.
That's probably one of the best signs you can have, Dan. If all your guys are batting consistent like that, that's probably one of the best things you can have in a lineup.
That one's popped up. Ty, are you ready? Okay, not quite. It's not going to go all the way out there. And that wind wreaked havoc on Brennan Rogers. He could not make the play in the ball in foul territory. I thought it was coming towards us, but you saw that wind. You just kind of pushed it back.
Yeah, and as that Onsted coach had said, from their 3 to 9 hitters, it looked like they had all been batting consistent from what he had said. So, it looks like all of his lineup is definitely doing damage. And if they're doing damage like that in the rest of the game and possibly the championship game, they got a good shot of taking this thing home.
I understand in this game it goes well for you when you hit the ball well.
It does. It really does.
Dallas Highbury has had some success so far at the plate. Last time up, he managed to come all the way around with a stolen base, a passed pitch, and then scored on a hit, and he's trying to grab himself another hit. That's into the gap between center and right, and that's up to the wall, and Goose Street might be just about ending his day as Highbury's going to stretch it into a triple. He's going to come around to third, standing up. That ball gets passed, but backed up by the pitcher. Goose Street keeps it from being an in the Parker on the error, but Highbury around to third with a triple that he got into the gap out in the outfield.
Highbury's definitely got some speed. I didn't know if he was going to be able to round second and get there or not, but he definitely has some speed.
That's what you want out of your leadoff hitter.
Definitely.
With 1 out, Hyatt's going to be at the plate to try to extend the lead for the Wildcats, and at 5-0, you might see a pitching change coming this way. Instead, they're going to throw the ball in, and nice barehanded grab by one of the Napoleon bench players right there.
Hyatt's definitely got some cushion now, so hopefully he can go out there, drive another run in for the Wildcats and get some more cushion for himself, so that way when he goes out and pitches in the 6th, he's not just, tense.
And I jokingly, as a Tigers fan, call that the Justin Verlander cushion, because Verlander, as dominant a pitcher as he is, he always seems to find a way to give up 2 runs.
Right.
Just somehow that happens. So being up 5-0, it's got to be a great feeling as a pitcher, and even when you're playing defense out there, knowing that you got that lead. Ayat rips one, and instead a great play made by the shortstop. Williams got on it, tried to make the play over at third as well on Heidbreder, but he managed to get back on the bag.
That's definitely a pretty play, jumping up like Jose Iglesias over there, looks like. So definitely looks like they're having, even though they're not up right now, it definitely looks like they're having some fun out there and enjoying this game.
Well, Napoleon knows, as I'm sure you do as well, Ty, when you play baseball, that's one of the things. There's no time limit. As long as you still have the outs, you can come back. Ball ripped. I don't even think it was ripped foul. It looked like it got into the paint and looked like it was a foul ball, but instead they're going to say that it rolled down the baseline, and that'll be an out, and we'll get out of the inning with only the 1 run on the home run for the Onsted Wildcats. We'll come back with Napoleon's chance to answer. You're watching the Wooden Bat Tournament on LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it. Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Welcome back to the first game of the Wooden Bat Tournament here at Onsted High School. Again, we're at Onsted High School right now instead of at Adrian College for the first round of this tournament, because Adrian College, congratulations to them, the 1 seed for the MIAA tournament. The problem with that for us is that means they're playing the championship game right now, so we're out here at Onsted High School. And we got a pitching change, so they obviously don't want to burn up Patrick Ayat too much for Onsted. Maybe you're up 5 runs, figuring, okay, let's give somebody else a chance, and they're going to pull the second baseman, Josh Thierry, in to throw a little bit for the Wildcats. And just looking at him, looks a little bit different. He is not quite the imposing figure that Ayat is out there.
Definitely not. Doesn't look like he's throwing his hard, but definitely looks like he's pounding the strike zone. And definitely a good thing giving Ayat a break in case they do hold on to this lead and make it to the championship game, and can use him for them too. Also, if they needed to bring it in for relief.
Well, and again, that's the situation. You can rotate players around in high school baseball, especially. Guys haven't gotten as specialized. So, Ty, like you were talking about, you don't play just in the outfield. You can play right field, you can play first base, you can play in different spots. Kids are still learning positions, but they're also learning that they can play in different areas. You got those utility players. So, for example, it looks like Ayat's still out there. So maybe he is going to keep pitching. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Both pitchers, you can't have 2 pitchers, right? I don't think it works out.
I don't think so, Dan.
Ayat standing kind of right off to the side of the hill as Thierry was warming up, so I don't know exactly what the plan is right now, but you still got Lobostal at catcher. It looks like Ayat's going to be playing third base maybe right now, and that'll give the second baseman, Josh Thierry, a chance to throw from the hill a little bit. Out at second base now, Jarrett Weirich, who is that extra 10th player that Onsted had in, somebody that would probably come in and play at some point. He's jumped in at second base now, so that means that Jake Jones' day will be done. Saw him hug Ayat as the last inning started. So Jones will be able to hang out on the bench and cheer on his players as the first pitch from Josh Thierry is fouled off to the left field side by shortstop Bob Williams. Williams having a rough day so far. He's came into the game hitting .375, but 2 strikeouts to start off the game so far.
It's definitely a struggle. You see a guy that's throwing as fast as Ayat was, and you got to adjust to that. It's tough to adjust, as I can understand from a bigger batter. And you want to go out there and hit the best you can.
Interior, a different style, and it looks like so far Williams has been in front of those pitches. 2 strikes on him, no balls. And he's put a few over the third base side so far.
Definitely doesn't look like he's having a problem with Thierry at all. So maybe he can take a couple pitches, look at some more. Hopefully he can get the bat on the ball here. Not take strike 3.
Thierry throws that one up high, though. Ball 1, 2 strikes. He stretches, delivers just a little bit outside. And it's got to be interesting as a hitter. You're preparing for one pitcher as you're mentally in your mind as you're coming up to the next inning, and all of a sudden they swap somebody else out you haven't seen before.
Right.
Fouls that one straight back off the fence. I was coming up in the face of our producer, so I'm glad they had a fence in between them there.
Definitely. We don't need none of them busting our camera stuff up there because we're definitely going to need it for next game.
Yeah, so we got 2 more to get done today, and I don't think we brought an extra camera, I'll be honest with you. That was another foul ball from Williams. He's had 3 fouls so far this at-bat, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Is Napoleon right now, I mean, hey, you're looking to fight off whatever you can, and they just need to get themselves manufacturing something here.
Never hurts, if you get a couple runs, that you never know, that might get your guys started and get them more hyped up as, they might not be in the best of moods right now, being down 5-0, but, get a couple runs and that might bring your guys' confidence up.
Thierry serves one over the middle of the plate, and Williams showing that bat why he's hitting over 300 this season as he manages to wrap out a single just between, closer to the third base side between third base and shortstop.
Definitely a good battle between Williams and Thierry, and as he battled that out, he got himself a pitch at the end to get him a base hit in left field.
Not exactly what Thierry had in mind when he started off pitching the ball here, but that's one of the challenges to baseball.
Looks like someone new today. Looks like, we got a left-handed batter, which we haven't seen a lot today.
And Goostrey, the pitcher, about the only lefty so far I think we've seen in the Napoleon lineup. But he had a hit last time up, so he's going to try to do something here to start things off. That one's inside, but not too far inside. And it does seem like the umpire's been given that right side of the strike zone from our vantage point, left side from the pitcher's vantage point, just giving a little bit extra on the side there.
Now, definitely, it's different because, Goostrey's a smaller guy, so the strike zone kind of shrinks for him, unlike a guy like Nemi, who's on deck right now, who's a bigger guy, and his strike zone's going to be bigger. So it does definitely make a difference on your size, and especially all umps have different strike zones.
Goostrey, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch from Thierry. Goostrey fouls that one down the third baseline. Doesn't really get past the coach, and you're always fun with the coaching staff. You just got to hop out of the way of some of those foul balls as they come at you.
Definitely. I mean, that's definitely a thing, as I do play some third base coach sometimes when I'm coaching, and you wouldn't think for 12-year-olds that they're going to blast the ball down the third base line, but sometimes you got to be careful.
Never know, huh? 2-2 now. The count as I guess maybe Thierry trying to settle in just a little bit there. The catcher rather, Lowenstall tried to frame that one on the bottom of the strike zone, but umpire was having none of that. The 2-2 pitch wrapped almost right at the umpire. The ball scuffed off the side of the new second baseman, and they get him out there at second. Nice play by Weirich to get a hold of that one as it almost took out the ump out there in the outfield.
Yeah, that was a good decision by the second baseman. Even though it gave him a fielder's choice, which if you guys don't know what that is, it's a guy chooses between who to throw it to, and the other guy doesn't. It's not counted as a base hit. It's just counted as a fielder's choice. So, he made a good decision. Get your lead runner, so that way he's not in scoring position. So, you got to take some to get some. So,
Niemi at the plate. He's trying to get something going for Napoleon, runner on first base, and Nick's had a little bit of a tough time at the plate so far today. He's hitting .387 on the season, but popped one up and had another one not quite work out for him. So 1 out, 1 strike. Time on the field right now as he digs back in and looks for the pitch from Thierry.
Definitely one of those hitters that loves to dig his back foot right into the dirt.
Everyone's got their own style. I mean, he's maybe trying to give himself a little bit of extra angle, just kind of the way that he gets himself dug in and make sure he's got the right power in the right spot. Well, he's going to get a chance here with 2 strikes. That one's low in the dirt. Ball 1. Kind of had a feel that one was kind of coming there. It seems like most pitchers will try to throw that one off there just to get a guy to chase it a little bit, make him nervous.
Yeah, normally they'll throw, you got 2 strikes on him, throw him an off-speed pitch like a breaking ball down in the zone. Maybe he'll bite at it like he just did. He's just throwing, 2 off-speed pitches into the dirt to get maybe to bite on it, because he's thinking it's going to be, hey, it's up in the strike zone. He's going to swing at it, and then it drops. So you never know, especially with your bigger guys, what they're going to swing at.
Thierry checks the runner at first, looking on a 2-2 pitch. That one's high and inside, and looks like it scuffed the edge of Niemi, so they're going to give him a hit by pitch there. He didn't look too upset about it, but he also didn't look too happy either. Put runners on first and second. Napoleon, we've seen him with runners on first and second a couple times, but this time there's only 1 out, so he got a chance maybe to put something together as Brett Rogers, the left fielder has come up to the plate. And again, the game, the dynamic kind of changes when you put in a different pitcher.
It does. It really does. Speed changes, pitch changes. Some, like we had said before, pitchers and catchers have to be comfortable with each other. And
do you think even if a batter hasn't faced a pitcher before, if they weren't having success against the last one, you almost have to get their hopes up a little bit that it's going to have to be better this time?
It is, and you're like, hey, they're switching pitchers. He might throw different pitches, and maybe, hey, I can get a hold of this one, bring some runs in for my team, or, just get on base so they have that chance.
Thierry throws one in there for a strike.
And Napoleon did bring in a pitch runner for second, so they might have a little more speed on the base pads. So that way they can steal a couple bags, maybe get a guy on third and get a sac fly out in the outfield.
And at this point, if you're the Pirates, you're going to take whatever runs you can get. Thierry checks the runners, throws one in there. That one's popped. And a play not quite made out there for the right fielder. That's going to put runners on first and third as Nemi got caught kind of trying to play the waiting game out there in the outfield, and that's one of those weird things. Duke was trying to make the play, and it wasn't close enough to have an infield fly rule or anything on that. It was out in the outfield, but because of when the play was made, Niemi not able to get to second base in time.
Right. And sometimes you got to be careful on that tag rule because you never know. Always take your 2 steps and then get back to the bag if he catches it, but you always got to be careful.
And again, when you have the pressure coming to first base, so the offshoot of all of that, runners on the corners, 2 outs, and Napoleon threatening, but still a goose egg up on the scoreboard as Austin Ash comes to the plate. Ash came into the game hitting .382. He's had a tough time at the plate as well. Looks like we'll have to see if he can do something here to give the Pirates a run. That one's high as Lobostal checks the runner over at first, making sure that he doesn't try to steal second and put 2 runners in scoring position. 2 balls, 2 strikes as Lobostal goes out to the mound, have a conversation with Thierry to see what the situation is out of that, or maybe figure out what they're doing for dinner in between the games tonight.
Right, and that's definitely a big thing as a catcher and a pitcher, have that relationship. If he can go out and talk to you, see what's going on. And he might even tell you what pitch he would like you to throw or what pitch you want to throw, so you guys are comfortable for that next pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Now make it 3 balls, no strikes rather. 2 outs. Onsted trying to get out of the 6th without any damage. Keep themselves up 5-0. Runners on the corners. Thierry.
This is definitely a position, Dan, where you give your guy the green light like you did. If it's not perfect, don't swing at it. If it's perfect, swing at it. And that's definitely a thing I'd give my kids. It's 3-0, don't swing at it. We need that base runner right now to score some runs because we're down a certain amount as they call time.
And the bases are loaded. It's been a tough start to his pitching day for Thierry. I'm not sure exactly if they're looking to switch it up here or if they're just going to come and have a conversation with him. But Thierry's allowed the bases to get loaded with 2 outs after a 4-pitch walk out there to Rogers. And now Austin Ash, came over to first base. So Tim Deutsch will be our likely hitter next, although that is subject to change based off what they do with the pitching here. But Deutsch has had himself a decent season so far from what we've been told from the pitchers, both members of that family. Josh probably hitting a little bit better, but Tim has showed great range out there in center field, so we'll see if he can get himself a hit. As Napoleon's trying to figure out what's going on, they're going to leave the pitcher in. It'll still be Thierry throwing for Onsted. But that puts runners on first, second, and third, 2 out. And this next at-bat could change the complexion of this game.
If he blasts one out in the center field over that fence, that could make this game a completely different ball game. Like we said before, high school baseball is completely different. You never know what can happen in this sport, as dynamic as it is.
Or you could try to bunt. I didn't quite see that one coming. Deutsch may be trying to do it with some weird kind of crazy suicide 4-way squeeze or something. I'm not quite sure what that is.
You never know, especially with bases loaded, Dan, because
Deutsch pulls it back twice, so the first 2 pitches in there, a ball and a strike. He's shown bunt, but again, that might be a little bit of gamesmanship to try to keep the infield in a little bit when he might be trying to swing it. He does have the bat on his shoulder for the 3rd pitch, and that's 2 balls and a strike as Deutsch and the Pirates are threatening. Bases loaded, 2 out, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Thierry deals. Deutsch hits one, pops it up. It's a little too far out to do any damage, though. And Hunt will settle underneath it to end the threat. And the Pirates, once again, unable to put any runs on the board. We will go to the top of the 7th, the last inning. You're watching the Wooden Bat Tournament on LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Rosita, did you know there's a right way to sneeze? Let's show them, Elmo. Got it. When you feel like your nose needs to give it a chew, this is how you ought to get
Preventing flu? Visit flu.gov.
The odds of this boy achieving his dream in fashion? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
And welcome back to, as so aptly put by the Onsted PA system, the final countdown. It's the final inning of our first game in the Irish Hills Woodbat Classic here in 2015, the 9th iteration of this tournament. Usually, the last couple years it's been held at Adrian College, but this year instead hosted by Napoleon, with the first couple games at Onsted High School, which probably has benefited the Wildcats a little bit today as they look to finish off this game. It's 5-0. Trying to tack on maybe another run, 2 or 5 or 12 or whatever they can do here in the sixth inning, and stepping up to the plate for the Wildcats, Landon Duke.
Hey, you're definitely looking to put on some insurance runs, because this is a big inning. Make sure you can put this game away and then move on. It's definitely been Onsted's day hitting the ball. They're definitely comfortable with the field and how they play. So let's see what they can do here, and then Napoleon will be up next and see if they can do something here to maybe push this game to extra innings.
Duke up right now on deck for Napoleon. A guy we've seen running the bases but not swinging the bat yet is Richard Davis III. That's a foul ball back over the backstop. Duke has had a little bit of success at the plate. He's had a couple hits and 2 for 3 on the day.
And like they said, their hitters are definitely hitting well in this 9-game win streak. Possibly, going to move to 10 as he.
Solid contact on that one. You could hear that. It only a little dribbler out into the outfield, but that's that wooden bat sound that just. I personally like that a little more than the ping of the aluminums.
Everybody has their preference. I definitely am an aluminum guy. Composite bats, which make your bat lighter, swing faster. But everybody has their preference.
Yeah, I'm talking about the sound effects.
Yeah.
Trust me, I swing an aluminum bat a lot better than a wooden bat. I agree with you there.
Right.
But stepping up for the Wildcats, Richard Davis III. It's his first opportunity to swing the bat today. He's run for the pitcher a few times, but with a runner on first, we'll see what Onsted can do. As that first pitch in the dirt, as Ghostry's going to finish off the game for the for the Pirates, regardless of what happens here. So kind of funny that the guy who's giving up the runs is the one who's going to have the complete game.
Everybody. It's. I think it's a good decision.
Throw down to second. Looks like he's in safe. Nope, they got him. They got the tag there just in time. And despite his best efforts, Landon Duke couldn't quite get in there. So, again, it's been a mixed bag thrown from catcher, but Rogers gets his second runner of the day. It's about half and half with what's worked out for him.
Yeah, and I think definitely, like we'd said before, base stealing has had a big impact on how Onsted's played today. And, it's been a big elemental thing, as we had said. So, and like the wind had played a big difference on that home run that Wyrick had hit in the 6th. So, it's making a big difference on stuff. So,
Davis looking in, 3 balls and a strike as he's getting his opportunity to bat. And as somebody who hasn't gotten a chance to swing the bat yet today, he's probably a little overzealous and eager, and he stuck something in there. Not quite far enough to get out, though, as Deutsch able to settle in underneath it. But, boy, Davis thought he had one there.
Definitely. That was pretty close. If that would have went a little bit farther, he would have blasted one right out of the park.
What do you think with the aluminum bat? Is that a home run?
I definitely think with an aluminum bat, that definitely is a home run. And now I can definitely understand why they don't let them use that in the pros. Because, you take that chance, you hit it with an aluminum bat, you have a bigger chance of injury to somebody because as fast as that ball's coming towards you.
And I stand corrected because Jones, who was at third base, has now jumped into left field, and Wyrich, that was in left field, has jumped to second base. So I thought his day was over. I was wrong. He's at the plate right now. 1 ball so far, 2 outs rather. Swings hard at that one, and one of those halfway through the swing realized he was chasing a bad pitch.
Yeah, Dan. Sometimes you get tricked by that. It looks really good coming in, and then you just swing at it, and it just goes right away from you.
Ustry throws that one in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. A chopper to shortstop. Throw over to first is in time, and that'll get him out of the inning without any runs. So 5 runs is all Onsted's able to muster. We'll see whether or not it's going to be enough to get them through to the bottom of the 7th inning of the championship game of the Woodbat Classic. You're watching LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
The first American people loved the land. They held it in simple reverence. And in some Americans today, that spirit is reborn. This is South Coast Botanic Garden in California. Once this was a dumping ground for trash and litter. Community volunteers cleaned, planted, and reclaimed it. And there the land is good again. But all around us are reminders of how far we still have to go. So everyone must get involved now. To contact the Keep America Beautiful team nearest you, write Keep America Beautiful, 99 Park Avenue, New York, New York. People start pollution. People can stop it.
Well, it's the final opportunity here on LSPN for the Napoleon Pirates to turn this game around and get themselves a shot at the Wood Bat Classic final game later on tonight, going on at Adrian College. We'll be there for the final game later on this evening, so we'll change venues. But right now, there's one half of an inning to finish off for the Onsted Wildcats to punch their ticket, so to speak, and try to defend the title that they have. They've got that wooden bat in the little carrying case. They've got it with them right now. And so we'll see what happens, see if they got that opportunity to defend their title later on tonight. Time? It looks like Jeff Ash is coming to the plate as the right fielder's got an opportunity to start things off for Onsted.
Definitely looks like, it might be a good chance for them to, hopefully get a guy on base and maybe Steven steal a bag and get him to second. But hopefully, Napoleon can get something going because this is their last opportunity to get some runs.
And as the coach in that situation, what are you telling your kids right now when nothing really, to be honest with you, nothing much has gone right for Napoleon so far this game when it comes to actually getting runs across the plate?
I'm telling my kids, go up there, be confident, swing at the ball, enjoy yourself. This is the last inning. Do what you can do as he just blasts that one to
Jeff Ash taking your words to heart as he gets a single off there on a 0-1 pitch, and exactly the kind of start that the Pirates needed to see if they can put something together. Brendan Rogers, the catcher, bringing up the bottom of the Napoleon lineup. He's still hitting over 300 on the season, even with today. So far, things have been going for him. He had a hit last time up, and the Pirates with a chance now to try to put something together. You can definitely see a difference in pitching style and also pitching effectiveness from Patrick Ayat, who we had earlier in this game, and Josh Thierry, who's done an okay job so far, but he's one of those heart attack relievers, kind of like the Tigers have been known for so long, where you might get it done, but you're going to sweat it out a little bit in the meantime.
Right, and, confidence does play a huge role in how your guys are playing out there as, they comes up to bat. Because, you get down on yourself and you're like, man, we're down 5-0, bottom 7. It's going to be hard for us to come back. But you got to go up there with the best intentions and say, hey, I'm going to go up there and get a hit, and I'm going to possibly bring my team back and hopefully put this into extras or possibly, even win the game in the 7th inning right here.
And they've got their 3 outs to do that. Almost lost one of them right there as Lobostal tried to catch Ash at first base, but he's safe. That one's a little high. Rogers will take a third ball, 3 balls and a strike. And again, he kind of cracks me up with the way he's so animated when he's up there at the plate. Rogers, he'll grab the top of his bat at the end of a pitch and just kind of one of those guys that has his own way of doing things. That one's a little bit outside. Rogers trots himself down to first base. That'll put runners at first and second. So Napoleon starting off this inning exactly the way they wanted to.
Definitely got something going, Dan. So maybe, as he comes up to bat here, they might, as Deutsch comes up to batting .467 on the season, he might get something going here as they call time to figure something out. Because it looks like Terry's struggling a little bit as he's on the mound.
And, of course, Onsted doesn't want to let this game get away from themselves. As much as they want to let Thierry finish this thing off and put things together, they're going to make a change. And Dallas Heidberg will come in from his shortstop position. You can already see just a difference in the delivery and the approach that he has. He definitely wings his arm out there a little closer to what we saw Ayat doing, as he'll get a few pitches, a chance to warm up. And it's certainly not that they've got any problem with Thierry. It's just, hey, you know what? When you got 2 guys on and you need to win a game to get a tournament through, you don't want to give the other team a chance to come back.
Right, and they did make a good decision. Like you said, sometimes you got that heart attack reliever that's you're gonna sweat through it, and sometimes you just gotta deal with what you got. And it's tough. Doing stuff like that. You guys got guy in first, guy in second, and you got a guy up to bat, and maybe he could drive in a run, and you got a 4-run, 3-run ball game right now.
And I happen to be a Tigers and a Cubs fan, so I call this the Phil Koch rule. Coke is, tell you what, he's obviously a major leaguer. He's had a good career so far for himself, but he always scares me every time he comes into the game. And sometimes you have those guys that they get the job done well enough, but you're never quite sure what you're going to get. And today just wasn't the right day for Terry. He had some great plays there at second base, just wasn't happening as a pitcher. So they'll bring in Dallas Hydra to try to finish this thing off. No outs, runners on first and second for the Pirates, and they have reset themselves at the top of the order. Josh Deutsch, who's hitting over 400 on the season, even after a couple of at-bats to start off today. He got a hit last time up, and he's going to look for another one because a hit right now, a decent hit, is going to bring home a run.
Now, that's definitely a big confidence booster if they get a run in. So hopefully, that he has that confidence of, batting a guy batting 467 to go up there and as he tries to lay down a bunt that goes foul.
That one's a little too far foul for anybody to make a play on it, but Hybrid checking the runner at second and clearly trying to manufacture some runs, though. I have to wonder about that when you got a guy who's hitting the ball as well on the season as Deutsch is. Why are you trying to bunt right now?
Definitely, if Deutsch has that speed where he can get down to first base, or they're trying to advance that runner to third, and even a ground ball might bring him home because you're going to advance that runner at first so you don't get into that double play jam.
And that's all a matter of opinion. How you go about it is Deutsch follows that one back over top of the press box. But if you're down one run, I can see the logic behind that. But you're down 5. You need more than one right now, and I wouldn't want to trade it out to get a guy over to third. Again, personal opinion. However, that's why I'm talking and not managing.
Right. So whatever science he's giving him down there, it's 0-2 right now. He can't bunt anymore as the foul ball rule comes in as he just strikes out Deutsch.
The bunt doesn't work out so well for him. And Heidbritter able to do what I did at the beginning of the game, and that's get a strikeout. First K for him in this game, and Deutsch, second strikeout for him as he ends up doing exactly what he didn't want to do. Bob Williams up to the plate. He'll take the first pitch for a strike there. He's had 2 strikeouts today, but he also had a hit last inning. As the Pirates, runners on first and second, 2 outs away from ending their trip to the wooden bat, though. And Williams with a big cut, trying to say, I'm not sure what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, I don't know if he's saying he got hit by the ball or what. He's trying to tell the umpire that I don't know if he got hit or what, but he's trying to claim he should go to first, and the umpire disagrees. Not quite sure what happened there, but there's some disagreements right now between the catcher and the hitter. I'm not sure if Lopestal said something or did something or made contact with him. I don't know. All I know is that Williams didn't appreciate it. And now we're going to have a little chit-chat between the coaches and the umpires and the players, and everyone's going to have a little powwow. And that's one of the fun things about baseball. It may lengthen the game a little bit as Moore comes up to talk to the umpire, but they're still trying to figure out what exactly happened there. What do you think happened, Ty?
I don't know. It looks like he was talking to him, and it looked like he might have said something that's that doesn't need to be said, and got a little bit of an argument there, Dan. And I think it looks like the coaches have worked it out, and the ump and the coach worked it out. So hopefully we can keep this ball game going and play it fair and have a lot of sportsmanship, and enjoy this, because this at bat right here is probably one of the most crucial at bats they're going to have this game.
Probably why Williams was taking exception to whatever was said or done, something like that, and now he's trying to get his head right, so he takes a little calls time real quick, and he still clearly was affected by whatever happened a minute ago. So that's something as a hitter. I think Ty, that you gotta ditch that as fast as you can and get right back in the frame of mind that you need.
You gotta be thinking, if he's saying something, you gotta put that out of your mind, and you gotta do your best at bat, not to worry about anything else but you and that pitcher. That ball come across the plate and hit the ball.
And Heidbritter giving him an opportunity there to take a step back himself, as that one was a little bit inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Williams takes that for strike 3, right up the middle. Not quite sure if he was still thinking about that a couple pitches ago, because he is definitely not in the right frame of mind right now as he walks back to the dugout, and we are 1 out away. Heidbritter with 2 strikeouts, as he's turned himself into a nice little relief pitcher for the Wildcats.
No, this is their last guy right here, and Heidbritter's doing a great job, coming in and relieving Terry. So, this is probably your most crucial at bat right here.
The
this
pitcher.
Is your last guy, and like you'd said earlier, there's no time limit. As long as you got an out left, you can keep going.
Will be some 2-out rally for the Pirates as Goostrey, the pitcher, trying to do something for himself. The lefty, 1 ball. Heidbritter deals that one into the dirt. He gets a lot of move, and there's a lot of snap there on the elbow and the wrist from Heidbritter, which probably creates a lot of momentum, but also probably scares his mom a little bit with whether he's going to throw his elbow out.
Definitely, you don't want to be throwing those curves and breaking balls, and hurting your arm during your high school career, and then ruining possibly a college or.
Heidbritter checked the runner at second before throwing that one low. They're going to call it a foul, so 2 balls and a strike. Hyber looking in for the sign. Got his toe just right in the front of that rubber. He's not a guy who likes to stand up on it. Checks the runner at second. Stretches. Delivers inside. 2-2 now.
It's definitely a good
thing.
thing.
3-1. Just kidding.
Definitely a good thing, as I had pitched before. A lot of guys don't like to use that rubber, but as you can use your back foot, you can push off that rubber and gives you a little more power in your pitch and helps with your accuracy a lot.
Heidritter stretches in there, struck him out. Nope, sorry, I was one strike ahead of myself. For some reason, I thought there were 2 on there. Just kidding. Full count instead, 3-2. I might be 1 pitch ahead. We'll see what Hyber does here. Maybe he can prove me a little prophetic or something here.
Maybe a little deja vu. What just happened right there, Dan?
2 runners on for Napoleon. Their last chance. Heidritter deals in there.
Oh, deals it up
and
high.
This time he struck him out. And that will finish off the game. Onsted will advance to the final of the Wooden Bat Classic, which we'll have later on tonight. 5-0 the final score as Onsted takes care of business against Napoleon. We will be back here with hopefully talking to the Onsted head coach. We'll wrap this game up. You're watching LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Quiet, please. Wait a sec. I'll take one. Oh, yeah. All right. All good. Take care. Way to go. Nice. Bring it on. Gotcha. I'm here for you. Oh, no. Please, please, please. I'm waiting. Interesting. Not buying it. Not fair. That's it. This conversation is over. Oh, brother.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things.
I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke.
Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F. Face drooping. A. Arm weakness. S. Speech difficulty. T. Time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment, and that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
All right, well, welcome back. We are here with our victorious coach from the first game of the Wooden Bat Classic, Coach Randall Onsted.
How's it feel to win this game, Coach?
Good. It feels good. It's always a good start to get a victory, especially in the Wood Bat. Gets us the championship game and one step closer to our goal. So it's a good start.
Do you think using wooden bats in this game affected how your boys were hitting?
I thought we actually probably hit the ball probably harder, but no, we hit we won this last year, so we've been hitting with them all week, so we're pretty used to it. A lot of guys use them in the summer as well, so it doesn't affect us at all.
Is there any other strategies that you used in this game to win this ball game?
We let Patrick, we built a lead, let Patrick pitch 5. We could have let him go 7, but I saved him a little bit in case he wants to close. We need him this evening to close the championship game. But that was pretty much what, the strategy we were looking at. We got a good lead, so I was able to do that.
So what's your strategy for next game?
We got Isaac Henry coming. He's going to start us in the championship game. He was the MVP of the Wood Bat Classic last year. He pitches well at Adrian College. We're very confident with him on the mound, and that's who we're going to go with.
And, Coach, with the way the season's been going for you guys, this is now 10 games in a row that you've won. What was the real factor for you guys after a little bit of a rough start to start the season to put the streak together?
We didn't get a lot, with the weather, we didn't get outside a lot early. We didn't get a lot of live pitching early. And, during this 10-game win streak, we've been hitting the ball a lot better, executing a lot better. Pitching has been great, and that's really been the key for us.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Coach. We appreciate that. Best of luck in the game later on tonight. We're looking forward to the environment out there at Adrian College. For Ty McLean, I'm Dan Empson saying thank you for joining us this afternoon. The Onsted Wildcats advanced to the championship round of the Wood Bat Classic with a win over the Napoleon Pirates by a final score of 5-0.
Be sure to tune in to our next game as the Wooden Bat tournament continues. Next up, it's the Panthers of Addison looking to punch their ticket to the championship as they face off against Brooklyn Columbia Eagles in a semifinal game. This is a presentation of LSPN, your home for Lenawee Sports.